Imagine a village under the scorching sun, the earth cracked, crops wilting, and livestock thirsty. The community gathers around a sacred fire, drums begin to beat, chants rise, and dances move rhythmically, calling out to the spirits above. In Africa, this has been happening for thousands of years, an age-old dialogue between humans and the forces of nature, a conversation held through song, dance, and ritual. This is the story of African rainmaking. Rain is more than water. It is life, fertility, prosperity, and survival. In African cosmology, the ability to summon rain is not just a practical skill, it is a spiritual practice deeply intertwined with culture, belief, and community cohesion. Across the continent, from the lush forests of West Africa to the deserts of the north, and from the savannas of the south to the highlands of East Africa, communities developed unique methods to communicate with the heavens. But these rituals were not always serious. Some communities, history tells us, were known to make it rain to disrupt their neighbors' weddings, festivals, or public ceremonies. Yes, if you didn't show proper respect to the local rainmaker, you might find your grand event interrupted by an unexpected downpour. Humor and superstition often walked hand in hand with reverence. Today, even as technology and meteorology advance, these practices continue to shape modern African societies. Elders are consulted before planting seasons, festivals still honor rain spirits, and communities preserve their ancestral wisdom through storytelling and ritual. But what were these rituals? How did they function? And what can they teach us about balance, respect, and human ingenuity? In this video, we'll journey across Africa, exploring the sacred rainmaking practices of different regions. We'll uncover ceremonies, dances, chants, and offerings that have shaped both ancient and modern life. We'll meet the rainmakers, understand their spiritual connection to the elements, and even glimpse the playful side of communities who wielded nature's power with a hint of mischief. So, grab your umbrella just in case, and let's step into the mystical, fascinating world of African rainmaking, where culture, faith, and nature meet. Rainmaking in West Africa. In West Africa, the relationship between people and rain is sacred and centuries old. The Yoruba of Nigeria, for example, have long worshipped Sutarunmila, the deity of wisdom, divination, and natural order. Rain ceremonies here involve diviners, herbalists, and community elders who call upon the Orisha of rain, Oko or Shango, depending on the region. Drums echo through villages, creating rhythmic patterns that are believed to resonate with the heavens. Dances move in intricate patterns, mimicking the flow of water and the rhythm of storms. Offerings are made, yams, kola nuts, and even libations of water and palm wine. But, as folklore would remind us with a chuckle, some rainmakers were known to hold grudges. Weddings, harvest festivals, and even the local chief's announcements could be interrupted by sudden rain. Villagers often had to pay respects or gifts to these spiritual practitioners before hosting big events. Imagine planning a wedding, only to have a sudden downpour ruin the decorations thanks to a mischievous rainmaker. Even today, the legacy remains. Farmers consult rainmakers before planting seasons. Festivals honoring rain deities continue to draw crowds, blending spirituality with culture, and occasionally a little playful superstition, rainmaking in East Africa. In East Africa, rainmaking is equally revered, especially among the Maasai of Kenya and Tanzania. Here, rainmakers, called Laban, play a pivotal role as spiritual leaders. They don't just summon rain, they interpret natural omens, guide the community in agriculture, and maintain social harmony. Ceremonies often involve intricate chants, offerings of cattle, and dances around sacred hills or lakes. Rituals are timed with the lunar calendar, as the Maasai believe celestial cycles influence rainfall. Some stories tell of rainmakers playfully testing their power. If a neighboring village disrespected a Laban, rain could visit their gatherings unexpectedly. This wasn't just superstition, it was a social mechanism. Communities learned respect and diplomacy through spiritual channels, blending humor with reverence. Modern influence is seen in agriculture today. Elders still consult Laban for planning schedules and traditional prayers for rain, sometimes accompany scientific weather forecasts, a fascinating mix of ancient wisdom and modern practice. Rainmaking in Southern Africa. In Southern Africa, particularly among the Zulu and Shona people of Zimbabwe, rainmaking ceremonies are deeply communal. The Zulu perform the Umkosi Wokweshwama, a festival that honors the gods and seeks blessings for fertility and rain. Ritual dances, sacred songs, and offerings to ancestral spirits are central. The Shona believe that rain is a gift from the spirits, particularly Mwari, the supreme deity. Rainmakers conduct sacred dances at specific times in the agricultural cycle, ensuring that crops flourish. Offerings include sorghum beer, poultry, and traditional herbs. Humor creeps into the stories too. Elders recall times when rainmakers were asked to punish unruly youth with a downpour during celebrations. The combination of spiritual power and community fun ensured that respect was maintained while keeping life lighthearted. In modern life, these rituals influence harvest festivals, communal decision making, and cultural preservation, even as meteorology takes a practical role in farming. Rainmaking in North Africa. North Africa has its own rain traditions, particularly among Berber communities in Morocco and Algeria. Here, rain rituals blend indigenous beliefs with Islamic practices. Rainmakers often conduct ceremonies at sacred mountains or ancient wells. Prayers are recited, water and incense offered, and dances performed to honor the spirits believed to control rainfall. Festivals often coincide with the agricultural calendar, ensuring the right conditions for planting and harvest. Humor and superstition remain. Villages tell tales of sudden rainfall, visiting rival communities who ignored local rituals. These practices illustrate a timeless social wisdom. Nature and community harmony are intertwined. Modern impact is subtle but present. Agricultural festivals, spiritual consultations, and cultural tourism keep these ancient practices alive, bridging past and present. Rainmaking in Central Africa. Central Africa, including Cameroon and Congo, has rainmaking rituals closely tied to ancestral veneration and forest spirits. Rainmakers, or spiritual elders, perform ceremonies to ask the forest and river spirits for rainfall. Drumming, chants, and herbal offerings are essential. Rainmakers often act as mediators between humans and nature, ensuring the land remains fertile. There's also a playful dimension. Local folklore warns that uninvited rain could appear at a rival's feast, encouraging respect and generosity within and between communities. Today, these practices inform environmental stewardship and communal celebrations, reflecting the deep respect for nature embedded in Central African culture. Rainmaking in the Sahel. In the Sahel region, stretching across Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, rainmaking is vital due to the harsh semi-arid environment. Here, the Dogon of Mali perform rituals involving masked dances, ceremonial masks, and ancestral prayers. Rainmakers use elaborate symbolic gestures to invoke clouds and water spirits. Offerings include millet, cattle, and libations. Humor appears in local tales of rainmakers testing villagers' patience. A delayed ceremony might result in a playful drizzle, disrupting daily life. Modern influence is apparent, as rituals often coincide with official agricultural calendars, blending ancestral wisdom with practical farming techniques, highlighting an enduring legacy of respect for natural cycles. Rainmaking in island communities, Seychelles, Madagascar. On islands like Seychelles and Madagascar, rainmaking rituals incorporate the ocean, wind, and spirits of the ancestors. Rainmakers conduct ceremonies on beaches or sacred hills, using chants, drums, and water libations to call upon rain. These rituals also have playful aspects. Stories abound of rainmakers causing surprise rainfalls at neighboring island ceremonies, ensuring respect and acknowledgement of spiritual authority. Today, communities honor these traditions during festivals and harvest celebrations, keeping the spiritual connection alive. while also using modern forecasts to plan planting and fishing schedules. Conclusion: across Africa, the ancient practice of rainmaking is far more than superstition. It is a rich cultural tradition blending spirituality, community, agriculture, and humor. Rainmakers, whether in the forests of Cameroon, the deserts of North Africa, or the savannas of East Africa, have long mediated between humans and nature. These rituals shaped social cohesion, respect for elders, and environmental awareness. Even in modern times, they influence agricultural planning, cultural festivals, and communal life. And sometimes, just sometimes, they remind us to honor the playful side of spirituality, the rainmaker who might just turn your wedding into an unexpected water festival. African rainmaking, ancient yet alive, is a testament to the ingenuity, spirituality, and resilience of African societies, a reminder that culture, faith, and nature are forever intertwined.